Welcome to Arthos, where ancient wisdom meets modern understanding. Episode 10, The Ultimate Surrender. Have you ever been pushed into a corner by someone who loves you enough to tell you the brutal truth? Your first reaction is almost always defense. You argue back. You bring up loyalty, respect, and impossible moral dilemmas. You try to prove that your problem is too unique, too difficult for anyone else to understand. But eventually, there comes a breaking point. A moment where the arguments run out, the ego shatters, and you finally utter the most powerful, liberating words a human being can say. I don't know what to do. I need help. 5,000 years ago, the greatest warrior on earth hit that exact breaking point. Welcome to the Bhagavad Gita. This is episode 10, The Ultimate Surrender. We are continuing our journey through the second chapter, Sankhya Yoga, the yoga of analytical knowledge. As we decode the ancient psychology of the battlefield, today we witness the exact, breathtaking moment a broken friend officially transforms into a surrendered student. Let's step into part 1 of today's story, the defense mechanism. To understand Arjuna's mind right now, remember the shock he just received in our last episode. Lord Krishna, his best friend, just called him an impotent coward. Arjuna is stinging from that psychological slap. And like any of us would do, he doesn't just quietly accept it. His ego flares up one last time to defend his panic. He points across the battlefield at the two men he respects the most. Listen to Shlok 4, Arjuna Uvacha, Katham Bhishmam Aham Sankhe Dronam Cham Madhusudana, Ishub Pratiyotsyami Pujarev Arisudana. Arjuna said, O killer of enemies, O killer of Madhu, how can I counterattack with arrows in battle against men like Bhishma and Drona, who are worthy of my worship? Now, let's dive into part 2, the trap of toxic loyalty. Arjuna continues his defense in Shlok 5, arguing that it would be better to live in this world by begging for food than to live at the cost of the lives of his great teachers. He is trying to corner Krishna with logic. He is essentially saying, it's easy for you to tell me to fight, but how can I shoot arrows at the grandfather who raised me? How can I kill the teacher who taught me how to hold this very bow? But as Arjuna speaks these words, something shifts inside him. The defensive anger runs out of gas. The heavy, suffocating reality of his depression sets back in. Arjuna realizes his arguments are empty, and his anxiety is eating him alive. He realizes he cannot solve this on his own. Listen to the turning point in Shlok 7, one of the most important verses in the entire Bhagavad Gita. Karpanya doshopaheta svabhava prichami tvam dharma samudhacheta yakreya syanishchitam bruhitanme shishyaste ham shadi mam tvam prapannam. The direct translation is, now I am confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of miserly weakness. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. This brings us to part 3, the breakdown of the ego. Let's look at the exact Sanskrit words Arjuna uses here, because they are a masterclass in psychological surrender. First, he uses the phrase Karpanya dosha. Karpanya means miserliness, and dosha means a flaw or disease. A miser is someone who has great wealth but refuses to use it. Arjuna is admitting, I have all the talent, all the weapons, and all the physical strength in the world, but I am acting like a miser. I am paralyzed. I don't know how to use my life right now. Then, he says Dharma Samudhacheta. My mind is completely bewildered about what my duty is. He is no longer pretending to be a moral philosopher. He stops arguing. And finally, the ultimate shift, Shishyaste Ham. I am your disciple. Until this exact second, Krishna and Arjuna were just best friends. Friends debate. Friends argue. Friends give each other advice that is often ignored. But a disciple listens. By saying Shishyaste Ham, Arjuna completely lowers his ego. He realizes that the mind that created the problem cannot be the same mind that solves the problem. And finally, we arrive at part 4, the power of I don't know. In our modern lives, we are terrified of looking stupid. We are terrified of admitting that we don't know what to do with our careers, our failing relationships, or our futures. So, we pretend, we argue, we stubbornly hold onto our own karpanya dosha, our miserly weakness, because our ego refuses to ask for help. But the Gita teaches us a brilliant, liberating truth. The universe cannot pour wisdom into a cup that is already full of its own opinions. You cannot be taught until you surrender your need to be right. Arjuna has finally emptied his cup. He has surrendered. The excuses are gone, the arguments are over, and he is officially ready to listen. In the next episode, the true philosophy of the Bhagavad Gita finally begins. Lord Krishna opens his mouth, and the very first spiritual lesson he teaches Arjuna is not about war or duty or family. It is a shocking lesson about the ultimate illusion of death. See you in episode 11.